Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 25th of November 2019. Today we are going to have a look at a few different pairs. We're not going to spend too much time on the symposium today, but we're going to have a look at a couple of charts, and I'm going to continue using the same analysis as we did on Friday, because I think this is a really nice way for us to help identify where we are allowed and not allowed to buy and sell. Okay, so we're going to start with Bitcoin American dollar, and a lot of people were saying recently that Bitcoin's going to go up and up and up and up and up. But if you refer back to the symposium we did a few weeks ago, we discussed Bitcoin and we said that it was going to fall, and the reason that we decided this was because that Bitcoin was doing some pretty interesting things. Okay, so if we have this price feed looks different than the one I normally use, but here it is. So we had this area of demand just here, which was tested many times. Okay, so you can see we had many tests here historically, and then this area of supply caused the consumption of this area of demand. And you know this is demand because we left here, and since this departure we managed to have an incredible push higher up to these about $14,000 levels. And so this is a really nice attempt to revisit the all-time highs on Bitcoin American dollar. Okay, so this is an important area of demand. The strongest move originated from this area of demand. Okay, it was tested several times and then it was removed. Okay, then you ask yourself the question, what area of supply caused this area of demand to be consumed? And then you can see here that it was this one here. Okay, and the Pipnotic software drew this on our charts a few weeks before price got there. So it was telling us to sell here a long time ago. Price poked into the area held, and now price is moving lower. And the reason this area held was because this area of supply is responsible for consuming this demand. Okay, so this area of supply held, now price is moving lower. So then you ask yourself the question, well, where's the price going to go? That's a really good question. If we have a look, we'll try and answer that question. You can see here that we had this departure from here. Price went up. We left. The slingshot was pulled back to here. We reached the all-time highs, and we tested this area many times. Okay, so we're going to mark that off. It was tested several times, and then it was removed. Okay, so the area that removed that, it's going to scroll back, is here. Well, this one here is the one that removed it, and this one here was removed by here. You can see that price rallied, we poked into the area, we pulled back, and then we left. And so there's something in here that's telling us that we have a pretty good amount of bullish order flows just here. Okay, so this is a really interesting area for us for the reasons we just highlighted. Okay, so another thing that I really like is this, and I like this because if we go to the weekly chart, you can see very clearly what we're looking at. On the weekly chart, I mean, this becomes very clear what we have to do. This is the top area. This candle closed above the high of this one, so for this, I mean, you want to be buying here. Okay, that's about where you want to be buying it here. The area of demand is here. We can go down to the low. That's what we have. So we have a couple of areas here, the 53.28, and below that we have about the 4100 area. These are really nice areas. Okay, and so looking at this, we want to identify the buy and the sell sides. Okay, and we'll do that very quickly using this here. So we want to buy the sell sides. The sell sides you mark from the high to the low, which is about here. The buy side is on the other side. So we'll just mark that off. It goes from the same high, and it goes to where the low is, which is here. Okay, and this means essentially that we cannot buy on any quote-unquote demand that we form here. Okay, there's no demand here. This is demand in here, and this is demand in here. Okay, so we can only buy on price levels that we see in this side of the chart. Okay, we are not allowed to buy here. We're only allowed to sell. Okay, so we're allowed to take that short on the daily chart that we saw here, that we were told about several weeks ago. Okay, and price tested. Now we're going down. So we're allowed to sell here. We're allowed to buy here. You cannot buy here and you cannot sell here. Okay, so we have a really nice price level here at the 5328.90. So $5,328.90. This is a really nice area of demand, and this is interesting because this area of demand is responsible for consuming this supply, and this area of supply is responsible for consuming the area of demand here that we see price testing here historically, and there are more further to the left. Okay, so this is a really interesting area for us to consider. Demand over here, the demand was taken out by this supply. This demand consumed this supply, and price has not been back yet. So this is where we look to buy. We don't really want to mess around with anything in here. We want to focus on the daily and the weekly charts here, because this is where the major flows are going to be visible, and you can see them very clearly on the weekly chart. You can see that we have this one here, and we have a really nice pattern. So price, we came down here, we rallied, accumulated, we rallied, accumulated, rallied. So this is a continuation pattern, and it's a good one because this one consumed this. If we go and have another look, just to reiterate, we had this area of demand tested several times. This area of supply consumed this one. This area, let me draw these. So this area consumed this. This area consumed this. Okay, price has not been back to here yet. So when it does, I'm thinking it's probably going to go north. If it doesn't, we're probably going to go back down to here. And once we've revisited this area and if price continues to seek or advertise cheap prices, well, then I think we're going to go back to here. Okay, and these are some pretty low prices for Bitcoin. Okay, and we also have, I mean, this is a really good price for Bitcoin. If we look at the price level, what are we? We're under $3,000. So that's a pretty good, that's a pretty cheap price for Bitcoin. Okay, so we are certainly advertising value down at these levels. And this is interesting because from the point that this area of demand was established, price went up, the slingshot was pulled back, and we reached the all-time highs. This is the all-time high for Bitcoin. This is like about the $19,000 area. Okay, and it all originated from this area here. This is a reaction to this. So if we use our little thing here, buying, we can mark from the high to the low, which is down here. And for selling, we go from here to where price currently is. Okay, and so this worked out pretty well for us, didn't it? If you consider this, we had selling going on here. Price went up to here. It revisited the beginning of the sell zone, which is right there, almost to the pip, and then we went down. Okay, but now within this sell zone, this sell area, we have this demand area looking pretty attractive, and it is a demand area, an area to buy, because it's in this one here. And this is the reason this is interesting to us, is because we had some seriously beautiful patterns evolve up to here. Okay, and now we're kind of trying to take back some of that. Okay, you can see the pattern of this. You see this is kind of acceleration, how price kind of goes up like that. So this is acceleration. This is powerful. This is a powerful move. Okay, and this one is kind of the less powerful move, which kind of just looks like that, which is just price kind of like just dropping lower. So this is showing a lot of buying pressure here. Okay, and like we had this super beautiful buy area here. Okay, so this is the 5328.90. So keep your eyes on that, and I think you should probably do pretty well there. Okay, good. Well, I'll leave it at that for today. Nice and short. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. And thanks very much for your attention for watching.